this is Alex Harris for ESBR Boxing. Pleasure to be joined by Roberto Diaz. And Roberto, on press conference day for Bull versus Rios, how are we feeling?
Feeling great. It's exciting to be back in the UK. Was here a year ago with Alvarez when we faced Jack Cattrall. And another great opportunity for one of my guys, Rios, fighting for the world title. Can't get better than this.
What do you personally make of England? Obviously, like you say, you were here last year and there's been some big shows that you've been involved with. What do you make of boxing in England and the atmosphere that brings?
I love it. It's one of a kind. Worldwide, it's probably I've said it many years, the best and most loyal fans. When they come to support, they really support their fighters. And for those that haven't been had the fortune to be in an event in the UK, that's definitely, everybody talks about Vegas, obviously the mecca of some of the biggest fights, and that's the truth. But when you come in for atmosphere and the fans, there's no better fans than the British fans.
Of course, and Nick Ball, of course, the home fighter, the homecoming for him, all our eyes are on him. But how do you feel like Rios is going to come into this and create an upset?
Well, it's great that he's having his homecoming. He deserves it. He's undefeated. He's a world champion. He earned it. However, all pressure's on him. He has to perform. He's the favorite. The fans are coming to see him. And at the same time, it removes the pressure on Ronnie. Ronnie's the big underdog. He's not expected to win. But now you bring in experience, you bring in a great camp, and you bring in hunger. He's coming back for the right reasons. He took some years off, and when he called me to make the comeback, he said, it's not about money. I said, what is it then? And he said, I want to be a world champion. That's the only thing I haven't done. So those words and his attitude is what convinced me that this is, like they say, God's timing is perfect. I think this is his time.
Do you feel like fighters have to be fighting not necessarily for the money? Because have you ever realistically seen fighters fight just for the money and then lose, and then you can tell they're not really into it, their heart's not into it?
Well, a lot of things it comes with experience, it comes with maturity, and I think right now, when you're young and you have the talent, you don't think about tomorrow. You think of the moment. And as you get older, with experience, you realize that there's things that you needed to accomplish. And I think Ronnie right now is in the moment where, again, it's not about the money, it's not about a long career now. He knows it's now or never. And in order to achieve that, he told me, I want Nick Ball. I want Nick Ball. I think the styles mesh very well. I think they're going to meet in the center of the ring. And that's going to be something new. In the last couple fights, both fighters went on the back foot. Nick's going to find somebody that's going to be right in front of him.
Most definitely, and I suppose in this featherweight division, it's an interesting time in the division. A lot of the fighters have moved up to super featherweight as of recent, but do you feel like there are other big fights still out there to be made, likes of Ray Vargas as well?
Absolutely. You're going to have, I mean, you have Espinoza, who's a tremendous champion. He's going into his rematch with Ramirez, but also I think it's a great moment to be a champion in the featherweight division, because any moment, the monster's going to arrive, and for the fighters, it's going to give an opportunity for a big fight, a big payday, and a huge opportunity.
And, you know, there's a name that you spoke of there, INOUE, and of course he's got that huge fan base out in Japan at the moment, and I'm sure he is going to move up soon, but where would you like to see his progression? Would you like to see him move up next fight, or do you think maybe early next year?
I think we'll still see a couple defenses at super bantamweight, but seeing what his mindset is and his legacy and how he's done things, I think it'll be 2-3 more fights and he'll be conquering the division or attempting to conquer it. Hopefully we can have a little say-so at that point.
Of course, and am I allowed to ask where he ranks among your pound-for-pound rankings?
Oh, definitely he's one of the top. I think right now I would have him number one in the world, based on accomplishments, based on how he's won, and what he's doing. And he's just a superb athlete, a superb champion.
And for yourself, you know, as of recent, we've seen this development of Riyadh season coming through. And do you feel like it is a positive for boxing as a whole?
Absolutely. The more boxing, the more opportunities. Boxing is worldwide. Few months back, they asked me what I thought. I said, well, it could become the next Las Vegas. It's very similar. As long as you stage big fights, good fights that the fans want to see, the fans will go wherever they need to go watch these amazing events.
There are a couple of fighters that seem to not really want to be involved in Riyadh season, and Canelo is one of them. Do you feel like there are limited options for Canelo as opponents if he isn't getting involved with Riyadh season?
No, I don't think that there's so much of opposing to go. I think it's just it was timing. He had a fight. Canelo's one of those athletes or individuals that first the task at hand, give it the full attention, give it the respect it deserves, and then open to negotiations if they make sense.
Of course, and another name as well, Crawford. It seems like he's not really, the Canelo fight's not been there, and so there's not been too many talks who he might fight. Of course, Ennis is, of course, an option. Of course, he has a fight with Chukadzian. Who do you think he could go on to fight next?
I think a fight with Charlo. I think a fight with Charlo to gain the belts, and if he can do something that nobody else has done, like stop him, then all eyes and all attention, or move up to 61st and try the weight. But I recently spoke to him at the Canelo Berlanga fight, and I told him, you remind me of the fighters from like the 80s. Marvin Hagler is a good comparison, and I think this is a young man that has another in the top 3 pound for pound, because he could do it all, and he's shown it.
And one final question from me. I really appreciate your time. There's been a bit of a debate that I've been seeing online recently, saying that perhaps the champions in prior times have been a little bit more dominant than champions have nowadays. You're seeing belts perhaps move around a bit quicker than they once were. Do you feel like previous boxers were perhaps fighting at a better standard, or do you think there's a higher standard now?
No, I think it's like everything. You go through ups and downs. There's been some amazing fighters in the past, but you still have some amazing fighters today. Usyk, a man that who would have thought could go into the heavyweight division and beat such a big man like Tyson Fury. You got Crawford, you got Canelo, you got Inoue. I think, like always, there's always we want to compare with the past, but we have to live and enjoy the present. And I think we're always, a few years from now, we're going to be remembering the fighters of today as great fighters.
Of course, Roberto, absolute pleasure, a legend of sport. Thank you very much.
Thank you.